All right, welcome everybody. Dr. Keith here. Hope you're doing well. Happy Thursday evening. How's everyone doing? Okay, so today we're going to talk about a really cool tool that I've got, and if you have TradeStation, okay, and it works for 9.5 or 10. But I wanted to do this webinar to explain it. Those of you that have purchased some of my indicators in the past or have watched a lot of my seasonal webinars and that, I think you'll be pretty excited about this. It's definitely something that not only saves me time, but also as I do my research and I look for opportunities that are coming up right now, okay, there's different criteria that I like to plug in and so forth. So as I get started, can somebody just type in a yes if you can hear me okay, and if you can see the PowerPoint that says Dr. Keith's Seasonal LRSI Indicator. Great, thanks Grant, Mike, appreciate it. Okay, so before we get started, again, I always want to show this for everybody to read. And hey Daryl, make sure that, again, you never trade with money you can't afford to lose. There's a lot of reasons for that, but most importantly, so that you don't lose money you can't afford to lose, right? And it typically, when you're trading with money that you don't want to lose because you can't pay rent, then your psychology is not going to be right anyway. Okay, so even if you have a good trading system, you've got to be able to trade with money that is for trading. Okay, enough of that. Okay, so for today, again, I don't suspect I'll be much longer than a half hour. I do try to keep these pretty short. I'm recording this and it will go out after as well. I know many couldn't attend this time, but the purpose of it is to show you explain it, show you the functionality, and then again, it's being recorded so that you can also use it as a training in the future as well, if you decide to purchase. Okay. All right, so one thing I always forget, I want to start doing this more of, if you have questions on, if you go to my YouTube, and let me put all this in the chat just so that everybody can easily grab it if they want. So I'm going to go into the chat here to all panelists and attendees. I'm just going to type all or paste all that in there. That way you can, if you're not part of my Facebook, anytime I do a public webinar or I just give an update on something, right, you can like me, and that way you'll get those updates. We have a text here, and there's my YouTube channel as well. And then you can see that on Wednesdays, I have a live webinar I do that I kind of give overall market updates. That was yesterday, and you can register for that as well. So I just put that all in the chat. That way, if you want to register for any of those, okay? And I'll show that again here in a little bit. Okay, so first of all, what the heck do I mean by seasonal LRSI, right? And I'm going to show you, like I always do, in live charts in just a few minutes. But everybody knows, that's been following me anyway, that I love the Laguerre RSI as a trigger, right? Any way to be successful in trading, you need an accurate trigger. Now the problem is, right, you have to have setups before the triggers, okay? Hey Nick, nice to see you. So the Laguerre for the last 3 years has been by far my favorite trigger because it grabs the meat of the trade, which is all you need to be extremely successful in trading, right? And so my current system that I've always used was I would look for a Laguerre trigger, and if it matches the seasonal move coming, right, then that was an opportunity. And that's great, and that's how I do it with Thinkorswim. But TradeStation has allowed me to put a little bit more functionality in. And so what I'm going to show you today is I've been able to program now, with the Laguerre and then with my seasonal indicator, I've been able to program it where you can put the inputs in. So let's say you're looking for, as of tonight, are there any triggers on the Laguerre, but only show me if there is a % move in the direction of that Laguerre that triggered over the next X amount of days. Okay, so in this example, only show me a Laguerre trigger that has at least a 3% move over the next 30 trading days. Okay, so let's say a stock like Facebook triggered. Okay, but let's say over the next 30 trading days, the seasonal move over the last 10 years is only a 1.5% move. Okay, it's not going to show on my radar screen as a trigger. Okay, because I only want based off of the criteria I'm putting in. Okay, and if I'm looking for a 3% move or a 5% move over the next 30 days or 60 days, okay, I want to trigger only when it gives me that criteria. If it doesn't give me that criteria, I don't want to see it. Okay, that's what TradeStation's been able me to do. I'm super excited about it. Okay, so as an example, this is the radar screen example for TradeStation. Okay, so you've got the stocks down here, and then when it shows a long, okay, those are long plays, meaning the Laguerre triggered today. Okay, and now this is older data, but when I say today, I just mean, you know, if this was a live data here. Okay, but it triggered today. So what it means was, again, if we back up, that those stocks that triggered have at least a 3% move over the next 30 trading days. Okay, and again, we can change that, and I'll show you how. It's very simple. Okay, so you input that here, and then you let the magic do its thing, and then you have your triggers as of right now on the stocks that are meeting that criteria. Okay, and here's an example right here where, let's say you wanted to change this to a 5% move over the next 60 days. Okay, you just change that and then you rerun it. Okay, so you can do anything you want. You can look for a 10% move over the next 60 days or 90 days or 120 days. Okay, that's the cool thing about TradeStation, is it allows you based on your trading style. Okay, you know, I have some clients that manage money, and one of the things they want to start using this for is, I'm looking for 6 months move that have a 10% move coming. So 6 months, you would put a 10% move here where it says 3, you'd put 10, right? And then you could put, you know, let's say 120 or 150 trading days, and you can look to see if anything triggered today that has that 10% move coming. Okay, so to me, that's incredible data to be able to have. And if you're looking for those type of moves, you know, within seconds, you have your triggers. All right, so let me explain it with live charts. Okay, I'm going to go to the package here. This is called the package 9. And let me explain this here. So again, everything I do is pretty simple, right? So basically what I have here, this package 9, okay, anytime you see a long or a short trigger, okay, what you have is you have it a triggering because the Laguerre has triggered over here, meeting the criteria that we put in the input. Okay, so let me show you. First of all, what is the input? Well, to look at it and then to modify it if you want, all you do is you come up here, you right click, you format package 9. Okay, and just like the PowerPoint. So let's say we're looking for a 5% move on that. And by the way, I'm showing stocks today. Okay, this works for futures and forex. Same thing. Okay, but 5% move, let's say over the next 45 days. Okay, everything else you don't have to touch. Okay, 5% over the next 45 days. Okay, you hit OK. Now we got to let it wait because I'm calculating over about 1,000 stocks here. Okay, so we'll let it wait a minute to do its magic. Okay, but that's all you have to do to modify and put the percentage that you're looking for. Okay, so if you like the 20, 40, 60, you could put, you know, 20, you could put an X% move over the next 20 days, okay? If you like shorter term trading, or if you really want to focus on 3 months out option plays, for example, right? Maybe do 60 trading days with an 8% move or a 10% move. And remember what it's going to do, it's only going to give you when it triggers meeting that criteria. So now what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to click on this cell where it says entry, okay? And I'm going to sort. Once it's done, it's still calculating though, okay? I know that because it's not doing anything yet. Again, it's going over 1,000 stocks that I have on here, okay? One question is how far back? So let me see if it allows me right now, okay? So great question. What I have right now, number of seasons defaulted to 10 years, okay? So it's looking at 10 years worth of data. You can change that. You can type in a 10, a 15, a 5, a 20, a 30. So let's say you're looking for stocks that have been around for 30 years only that have a 5% move over the next 45 days, okay? You can change it right there. For today, we're going back 10 years, okay? Okay, so I just sorted it now. I just clicked on it to sort it. So, and this is end of day data. So basically once the market closes, updates, okay? So what it's showing is, let's look at AMP. So it's given us a long trigger, right? Right here. And what it means, remember again, that means we have a 5% move from a seasonal perspective coming over for the next 45 trading days, okay? Then you can look at your chart and you can, based on your entry techniques, this is the Laguerre trigger, right? Or it wouldn't be showing here, okay? That's your entry. Now this will stay here for 2 days and then it goes back to neutral. So some of these triggered yesterday as an example, or 2 days ago, okay? So let's look at like CONS. Again, it's got a long trigger. You see the trigger here, right? Right here. So what this is telling you, because we inputted this, right? This has a 5% move coming historically over the next 45, what was it that we did? Yeah, the next 45 days, okay? For the next 45 days. So you already know, based on the criteria you put in here, and then you can pick and choose each day based on what looks the best for you, okay? So, you know, let's look at Groupon. I think it's Groupon, GPN, or Global Payments, okay? So again, trigger, you know you've got a 5% move coming. Okay, is that a good entry? It's up to you to decide. HFC, same thing, right? Nice entry opportunity here. The band's widen. We got a Laguerre trigger. We've got room to run. You know, maybe that, you know, you got a move coming, okay? KLAC, same thing. We got a Laguerre trigger, wide band. It was in this beautiful uptrend. We had then a big down move. Now is it heading higher? Typically it does this time of year, right? Over the next 45 days, it moves 5% or greater. So again, let's say you want to look at, are there any 10% moves over the next 60 days, 60 trading days? Okay, so I just put 10 and 60, and let's recalculate here. And again, the package that I'm offering tonight is exactly this. So you get this data, and you get the Laguerre over here, okay? I'm going to show you how I've combined it with my entire package, okay? But I want to first show you what, you know, the offer that I'm giving to you, what you actually get, which is this package right here, okay? Those of you that already have a lot of my seasonality, you can literally insert this, and I'll show you how in a minute, into your other package, like the 20, 40, 60, okay? But so KLAC, or let's look at a different one, LB. So remember now, we got a trigger here, right here on LB, right? Too much coffee today. I'm all over the place. Okay. So we know what that means, right? Again, that means there's typically a 10% move over the next 60 days, okay, on LB. Okay, so is that a great entry possibly? Here's URI. Here's VLO. Okay. So you can define the criteria that you want, and then they're giving you the triggers. Okay, and it'll update the end of the day. So if you're doing your research at night, you can bring it up and say, okay, what's good for tomorrow based off of what I want to look at. So let me format one more. Let's say you want to look at, longer plays, 120 days out, and you want to look for a 15% move, or whatever you want. But let's just do that and try that for a minute. Okay, I'm going to let it do its thing here for a minute. Absolutely, Nick, and I will explain the LRSI as well. Absolutely. In fact, while this is updating, let me explain this. So the RSI, folks, isn't something I created. I just had it programmed in here with my radar screens and that. But this blue line, okay, is just like a traditional RSI as far as how it works. It's an oscillator, okay? And what we look for is when it goes above 20 or below 80, okay, right here, that's where you get the arrow for a long or a short play, okay? Now, I don't take triggers that are against the seasonal direction. Not that you can't, but I'm a seasonal Nazi, right? I trade seasonality, and so because that's my main way of trading, 99% of my trades are seasonal related. Okay, that's why I only take triggers in that direction. Okay, so for example, we know we have a move coming here. Let me resort it now, and I'll show you. Okay, so these are the same. So these both have bigger moves. Okay, so in this case, the Laguerre triggered because the blue line went above the 20, closed above the 20, so it gives you an arrow, okay? This is an oscillator, the RSI, so this is what it does. The best trades are when they go below the white line and then above, or above the white line and then below, okay? That's what we're looking for. Those are the best signals. For example, you had good seasonality long back here, you got a trigger. These are the type of moves that we expect in many cases, okay? This is how it caught the COVID. Again, I don't take signals, though, that aren't in the direction of the seasonal. Okay, that's why I just had this program, because there's more triggers today on the Laguerre. It's just the ones that aren't showing, some of these are because there's not a seasonal advantage based on the criteria I just put in there, okay? Any questions on that? What I'm going to do next is kind of show you. Then I'm going to put it all together with my entire package and show you. But this in itself is extremely powerful, because as a trader, if you just focus on Laguerre triggers in the direction of a seasonal move, you're going to be a very happy person, okay? Very happy person. Because you're giving yourself extreme high probability odds, and you're just waiting for these best opportunities, okay? All right, I don't see any questions, so let me go over here. Okay. So this is my seasonal indicator off the weekly. Okay, so this is a weekly chart, and the benefit of having this is you can then see big picture the direction of a move. Okay, so CME, for example, great opportunities here. Okay, great opportunities here. Well, I have webinars that I talked about the seasonality. I'm not going to talk too much about this today, but let me just explain. The red line is 10 years of seasonality forecasted. The Magneto, I think it's called, or not the Magneto, the light blue, whatever that one is 5 years. Okay. So this is the weekly seasonal chart. I've got other webinars on this where we talk about the lag line and how you use this, okay? But very, very powerful stuff. Then over here, this is the daily that I've just shown you, okay? And don't worry about the stochastic right now. This is another oscillator that's more aggressive, okay? But again, we're focusing on the Laguerre. And this is actually a combo trade, right, on the CME. I put an alert out there last night for it, and then I canceled it because there was a pretty big gap down in the futures overnight, but maybe I shouldn't have, right? But anyway, as a longer term play, okay, that's a great opportunity for you, okay? Okay, so let me explain how then you can put it all together. So I'm actually going to expand. Let's just focus on the watch list for a little bit here, or the radar screen, okay? So this is what we were looking at right here. Okay, this is what we were looking at earlier. So when you get a long play, okay, let me align everything. Let me show you how you do it. So if I'm going to go in here, I'm going to format it. Okay, right now it's got a 5% move over the next 60 days. Okay, so let me change input 3 here. 60 days. Okay, so I got it 60 days out. So with the 20, 40, 60, the cool thing as an addition is, let this all update, okay? Now you know that you're going to have at least a 5% move coming, because remember the criteria. 5% move, 60 days, okay? So these are only going to trigger if it's meeting that 6% positive or negative, right? So you can see here, 5.8%, 6.5, 7.9. Okay, the 20, 40, 60 then tells you the exact percentage based off of that. Okay, so those of you that have the 20, 40, 60, you could use this as, this is showing your triggers, because again, you're going to have Laguerre triggers that I'm going to ignore that don't have the seasonal advantage, but everything here is something you should be looking at, right? These are all trade opportunities for tomorrow, okay? Let's pick another one. So let's look at MOS, okay? So MOS had a trigger right here, right? It stays for 2 extra days, then it goes back to neutral. And over the next 60 trading days, it has a 5.8% expected move from seasonal perspective, okay? PRTS. This is also a combo trade, meaning the stochastic and the Laguerre triggered at the same time, okay? This is a pretty nice looking trade, isn't it? Okay, you've got a 10% move coming over the next 60 days. You got a Laguerre trigger. You got room to these highs here. This is all money-making area right here, okay? So again, why am I super excited to share this with everybody? Okay, I have over 1,000 stocks on this watch list, and then within seconds, I filter down to my top 30 that have a trigger tonight, that have a seasonal move, okay? Pretty cool, right? I use Bollinger Bands, Nick. You know, a lot of people will just stack moving averages, but the reason I have Bollinger Bands on here is because that's what I use. I like to buy things when price is touching the middle band or lower for a long play, and vice versa for a short play when it's in this area. So again, my strategies are super simple because the real power is in this data right here, folks, okay? And so let's say you have the combo, right? You can sort by combo here, and then you can look to see, okay, you know, these are combo trades, and look to see the ones that, you know, have that trigger. And if you were looking for combos with the big percent move coming, you know, here's GPN, right? Combo trade, big move up. Okay, so again, those of you that have my entire package, this would be a great addition, because then you can just filter out trades that don't matter. Because again, if I had a Laguerre trigger, let's say I had a Laguerre trigger long here on ABB, okay? This has a seasonal short move, so I'm just going to ignore it. Okay, I'm just going to ignore it. And what this allows you to do is just give you the trades that have the actual triggers meeting your criteria, okay? All right, so again, let me do one more example here. So instead of 5% over this next 60 days, let's say we want to look at a 12% move over the next 120 days, okay? And I'm going to change it here too. I'm going to put 120 days. And you can have 20, 40, and 60. You can have your 3 inputs. I didn't want to overcomplicate things today. Okay, so let it calculate a little bit here. If you have any questions while we're waiting, let me know. Again, what I've been striving to do as much as possible is find high probability trades quickly. And again, you can do the same thing with Forex and futures. So, because I trade all 3 markets, so I can literally now, within 20 minutes, go through all the trades I want for that evening for the next day, right? Or in the futures market, it's for that evening, right? In Forex. All right, so let's see here. $120. Still calculating. Remember, it's going over 1,000 of them. It'd be much quicker if you have a list of 100 or 200. Okay, so 12%, 120. Okay. All right. So you can see here, everything should be over 12, the number 12, and it is. Okay, so if you're looking for a longer term play, you know, maybe you want to look at FRO, just as an example. Okay, let me move this back over. Okay, so FRO's got a nice move coming, front line, limited, and we got that Laguerre trigger right here. Okay, so 25% move historically over the next X amount of days we put in there, right? That's how quickly, though, based on your strategy. So, oh yeah, absolutely, Nick. I mean, you can put whatever watch list you create, you just add this in there. Okay. So let's say you only have 25 stocks you like to look at, but let's say you're looking at shorter term trades like a week and less. Okay. You can change that to, you know, you could change this, for example, to, you know, whatever percent you want for the next, you know, 5 trading days or 10 trading days. You can just have the top 50 high volume stocks. This is customizable. Anything you want, you can put in here. The reason why I put about 1,000 of these in here, they all have options. And it doesn't mean I'm going to trade them all. If I look at one and they have a really wide bid ask, okay, then I'm going to probably not trade them. But I might as well give there's seasonality in almost all stocks. So as long as I can find those great trades, I don't care what I trade, as long as it, you know, has volume and it has a good bid ask. Does that make sense? But absolutely. Okay. So Grant asked a great question. Are there any inputs you recommend? See, that's kind of the beauty of this. Every trader's different. Okay. What do I do usually? I have it defaulted to, you know, I like the 8%, 20, 40, 60. So a lot of times I'll do 8% and then I'll go roughly 40 trading days. But again, you may look at it and prefer 20 days or 60 days, okay? So there's really no perfect situation because it's based on what type of trading you're looking for, okay? And you can change it, run a scan, change it, run a scan, right? You can keep doing these, okay? So I just changed it to 8, 40 days, and now it'll recalculate, okay? And again, if you trade stocks and futures as well, same exact way. You can say, okay, I want to see a 2% move coming over the next week, okay? Or 3%, or you know, however you want to manage that is totally up to you. Make sense? Okay, so it looks like it might be done here. Okay, so remember the input here, 8% next 40 days. Okay, and then again, you can, if you have the 20, 40, 60, I'm just using the 60 right, the input 3 right now, but you could change that to, 60 as well if you wanted. But it's super simple in TradeStation. That's what I like about it so much. And this updates, as it closes, the bar closes, it updates. So that way you can do your research in the evenings if you want to. Okay. Well, I told you about a half hour. Are there any questions? Let me bring up the slides again. Oh, sorry about that. All right, so what I'm offering, folks, and I'm not going to do this for long, but it's a really good deal. But anyway, let me put it in the chat, and you'll get a recording of this. So for the next 3 days, I'll probably extend it through the weekend. You can have that package 9 for $9.99, basically saving $500. This is the purchase link. And what I'll do is, it's as simple as I just showed you, but what I'll do is once everyone signs up, I'll end up holding a webinar in the next couple of weeks for all the people that purchased it. And I'll do it as a Q&A session, and that way I'll answer any additional questions as well. Okay. But again, you can add this to your current workspace. So again, if you already have some of my indicators for TradeStation, okay, let me bring it up again just to make sure you understand. All you do is you right click on here, okay, and I'm going to format all analysis techniques. And so all my products are here that I have, okay? So you can add any of these you want to your radar screen. So if you have my 20, 40, 60 and you want to add this, you don't have to have it on a separate workspace if you don't want to, okay? You can put it on right here. Or let's say you have somebody else's products, but you want to add the seasonal punch to it, okay? You can add this to any radar screen in TradeStation, 9.5 or 10, okay? So, and one thing that's getting updated that, once you purchase this, it'll be part through the App Store. So then you get updates as I update them. I am getting it where it's going to also show eventually here in the next couple of weeks on the chart itself. It'll show the what you purchased. So for example, on KLAB, okay, as this is showing along in let's say 11%, it'll show it here on the chart as well. That way, as you're going through your charts, you'll always have that seasonal influence showing you right on that chart as well. Okay. Right now, this is just for TradeStation, 9.5 or 10. Thinkorswim can't handle it. I've been trying. I would love to be able to get that, but as of this point, the Laguerre seasonal is not available in Thinkorswim. Okay, the 20, 40, 60 is, okay, but not that. Now, eventually, I'm going to get this for Ninja Trade or an MT4, but right now it's just for TradeStation. Okay, great question. Okay, so again, this is the purchase link. If you're interested, I will hold a session in a couple weeks for people that have purchased it to go over some more details. Okay. Okay, and again, so if you have any questions, these are ways to get in touch with me. You should definitely sign up for my Wednesday webinar, because again, if you can't attend, it's recorded and it's sent out. Okay, so make sure you sign up for that. You can subscribe to my YouTube. We'll go from there. Okay, but super excited. This is a phenomenal product that is not only a time saver, but it's customizable based on what you're looking for. Okay. I do, Nick. I do. You can email me as well, and I can answer more of those questions. But I do have in fact, let me just bring it up. We got some time here. If you're looking at to get a mentoring package, let me just bring up my website. Okay, bear with me here. So I'm just bringing out my website, seasonaltraderpro.com. Under products or services, wait a minute, what's going on? There's one-on-one mentoring here. So under product or services, okay. So seasonaltraderpro.com. All right, folks. Well, thanks for attending. Again, reach out with any questions. Sign up for my Wednesday webinar if you haven't. And I look forward to seeing you all in the near future. So take care, everyone. I wish you the best. Have a great weekend. Bye now.